You want me to smile like I don't love him? Fine. I've been faking it my entire life. The words slipped out before I could stop them. Half muttered, half spat, like a confession hurled into the dark corners of my dressing room. The irony was sickening. I had been given the stage, the spotlight, the screams of thousands who adored me. Yet the one man who had been my anchor, me everything, stood beside me night after night, untouchable, unreachable. Caleb Morgan. My manager. My alpha. He wasn't mine in the way I wanted, though every fiber of my body screamed otherwise. He was the man who shaped my career, the one who taught me how to stand tall in a world that loved to tear people like me apart. And under the glimmer of stage lights, I had perfected the role of a cold-hearted Omega idol who didn't care for love, who only lived for music. But it was all a lie. A mask I wore so convincingly that even he specially had believed it. That night, the stadium in Los Angeles pulsed with energy. The audience cheered my name like a prayer, lights flashing like 1,000 tiny stars. Yet my chest felt hollow, because every lyric I sang was really for Caleb, and he didn't even know. Or maybe he did. Maybe he just refused to see it. I caught him watching me from the side stage as the last chorus soared from my lips. His eyes dark, sharp, unwavering met mine for a fraction of a second, and my voice almost cracked. That was the problem with Caleb. He saw too much and not enough at the same time. After the show, I stumbled into the dressing room, adrenaline still coursing through me. My chest heaved, not just from the performance, but from the unbearable ache of suppressing myself. The mirror reflected my painted-on smile, sweat sticking to my shirt, and eyes too raw for someone who was supposed to be invincible. The door creaked open. I didn't need to look to know it was him. You pushed too hard tonight. Caleb's voice was calm, controlled, like always. Your breathing was off in the bridge. I laughed bitterly, ripping off my earpiece. God forbid I sound human for once. You're not allowed to sound human, he shot back, crossing the room with long strides. His hand caught my wrist before I could throw the microphone down. You're an Omega idol in a world that doesn't forgive weakness. You know this. His grip was firm, steady, grounding and poison all the same. The heat of his skin against mine made my pulse race in ways I hated myself for. Do you even hear yourself? I whispered, my throat tight. I'm not even allowed to breathe wrong. Not allowed to. Feel. Feelings are dangerous, he said, his jaw tightening. Especially yours. The silence that followed was unbearable. My wrist still in his hand, my body trembling under the weight of everything unsaid. I yanked free and turned away. Then I'll keep pretending, Caleb. Just like you do. The thing about secrets is they rot you from the inside out. By the time we hit New York for the next leg of the tour, I was fraying at the edges. The fans saw perfection. The Omega with the angelic voice, the boy who had risen from nothing and became a star. But behind closed doors, I was a mess of longing and resentment, chained to a man who refused to see me as anything other than his responsibility. Caleb never let anyone else close. Not assistants, not other managers, not even the producers who constantly begged for his attention. He was mine in every way that didn't matter, and it was killing me. One night, after rehearsal, I snapped. He had been lecturing me again about posture, about conserving my voice, about being careful with the public eye. I stood there, staring at him, the words boiling up until they spilled out like venom. Why do you care so much, Caleb? HM? Because I'm your paycheck? Because if I fall, you fall too. He froze, his eyes narrowing. You think that's why I do this? Isn't it? My voice cracked, raw with the pain I could no longer bury. Because God forbid you admit that maybe, just maybe, you care about me. That maybe I matter to you as more than some Omega you need to babysit. His silence was deafening. For a moment, I thought I saw something flickering in his gaze. Something softer, something dangerous. But then it was gone, replaced by that same impenetrable mask he always wore. You should rest, he said quietly, turning away. I wanted to scream, to tear at his walls until they came crashing down. Instead, I collapsed onto the couch, burying my face in my hands, swallowing the sob that threatened to escape. I hated him. I hated how much I loved him. It wasn't until Chicago that the dam finally broke. We had finished another sold-out show, and I had given everything I had on stage. The after-party buzzed with producers, dancers, and fake smiles. Caleb hovered near me, as always, his presence both a shield and a cage. But then a stranger producer from some label leaned in too close, his hand brushing my waist in a way that made my skin crawl. Before I could react, Caleb was there, shoving him back with a glare that could freeze fire. "He's under my protection," Caleb snapped, his voice low, dangerous. My heart stuttered. Under my protection. The words rang louder than the music, louder than the chatter, louder than anything. When we finally escaped to the hotel room, the tension exploded. "Do you enjoy it?" I demanded, pacing the room like a caged animal. "Playing my bodyguard? Acting like you own me but refusing to actually God? Caleb, do you have any idea what this does to me?" He stood there, silent, every muscle taut. "Say something," I begged, my chest heaving, tears burning at the corners of my eyes. "Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me you don't feel it too." Finally, he moved. In 2 strides, he was in front of me, his hand cupping my jaw, his breath hot against my skin. His eyes burned with something wild, something I had only dreamed of. "You think I don't feel it?" he rasped. "You think I don't wake up every damn day fighting myself because all I want is you?" The world tilted. My knees went weak. And then his mouth was on mine, hungry, desperate, forbidden. For the first time, I wasn't pretending. But the universe never lets happiness come easy. The morning after, Caleb pulled away like nothing had happened. He busied himself with schedules, with calls, with everything but me. "About last night," he muttered, not meeting my eyes. "It was a mistake. A mistake." The words gutted me. I wanted to scream that I wasn't a mistake, that what we had felt was real, that for once, the walls had come down and the truth had burned between us. But the fear in his eyes stopped me cold. Fear of the world. Fear of what it would mean for an alpha manager to be with his Omega client. Fear that loving me would destroy us both. So I nodded, forcing a smile that tasted like blood. "Yeah. A mistake," I whispered. And just like that, the mask was back. The headlines were brutal. "Scandal erupts. Omega idol caught in forbidden kiss with manager." The photo, grainy, stolen, unforgiving, was everywhere within hours. My world, our world, went up in flames. It was the kiss in Chicago. Someone had seen us, captured us, and now the carefully built empire we had survived on was collapsing. I remember staring at the screen of my phone in the dim hotel room, my chest constricting so tightly it hurt to breathe. The comments were vicious, cruel, calling me reckless, immoral, weak. Some accused me of using my Omega status to manipulate Caleb. Others painted me as a victim under his control. No one saw the truth. Caleb stormed into the room, his phone pressed to his ear, his face grim as steel. "We'll handle it," he barked at whoever was on the other end before slamming it shut. His gaze landed on me, softer but no less heavy. "You can't go outside right now. It's chaos." I laughed bitterly, tears stinging my eyes. "Chaos? Caleb, this is the end. They're going to destroy me." "No," he said firmly, striding over to me. His hand gripped my shoulder, grounding me even as the floor seemed to vanish. "We'll fight this. Together." But his eyes betrayed him. The fear was there, coiled tight beneath his resolve. "Together," I whispered, my voice breaking. "Don't you dare say that if you don't mean it. Don't you dare stand here and pretend you'll choose me when you've spent years pushing me away." His jaw tightened. For once, the mask slipped, and I saw the torment inside him. "I was trying to protect you," he said hoarsely. "From them. From the world. From what it would do to you if anyone knew. And look where that got us," I choked out. "Exposed. Broken. And I'm standing here wondering if the only mistake I made was loving you at all." The silence was unbearable. My tears fell, unchecked, splashing against the floor. For the first time, Caleb looked like he might fall apart too. Then, with a strangled sound, he pulled me into his arms. His embrace was fierce, desperate, as if letting go would kill him. "Don't you dare think your love is a mistake," he whispered into my hair. "It's the only thing keeping me alive." The next weeks were hell. I wasn't allowed on stage. Every performance was postponed. Contracts were reviewed, threats from sponsors piled up, and lawyers argued over the fate of my career. Paparazzi swarmed the hotels, chasing shadows, shouting questions I couldn't bear to answer. But through it all, Caleb stayed. He shielded me from the press, took every blow from executives, fought tooth and nail against anyone who wanted to end me. And in the rare moments we were alone, he held me like I was something fragile, precious, irreplaceable. The world saw a scandal. I saw a man who had finally stopped running from himself. Still, doubt gnawed at me. One night, in the quiet of a rented apartment far from the noise, I asked him the question that haunted me. What if this ruins everything? My career, your reputation, everything we built, what if it all crumbles because of us? He cupped my face in his hands, his thumb brushing away the fear in my expression. "Then let it crumble. I'll build it all again from the ground up if it means I don't lose you." Tears blurred my vision, but this time they were warm, healing. "You really mean that?" "I do," he said simply. "I've spent too long lying to myself. No more." The turning point came when the video leaked. It wasn't just the kiss, it was the performance in Los Angeles. The night when my voice had nearly broken because of him. Someone had captured the raw truth in my eyes, the way my gaze searched for Caleb in the shadows of the stage. The clip went viral, not because of scandal, but because of emotion. Fans started to see it, to feel it. The way he looks at him. It's love. Why should he have to hide who he is? They're human too. For every cruel voice, another rose in support. Slowly, the tide shifted. One evening, after weeks of silence, my team announced a press conference. The room buzzed with reporters, cameras flashing like lightning. My hands shook as I gripped the microphone, Caleb standing tall at my side. "This is the truth," I began, my voice steady despite the storm inside me. "I am an Omega. I am a singer. And I am in love with Caleb Morgan." The room erupted gasps, shouts, flashes, but I pressed on, my gaze never leaving his. For years, I sang songs that came from my heart, but no one knew who they were for. I hid it because I was afraid of judgment, afraid of losing everything. But love is not a weakness. Love is not a crime. And I refused to keep pretending. My throat tightened, but I forced the words out, clear and unshakable. "If my career ends here, so be it. At least I'll know I told the truth." The silence that followed was deafening. Cameras clicked. Reporters scrambled. But in the midst of it all, Caleb took my hand in his, in front of everyone. And for the first time, he didn't let go. Months later, I stood on stage again. The stadium lights bathed me in gold, the crowd roaring louder than ever before. This time, my heart wasn't hollow. It beat with purpose, with freedom, with love. As I sang, my eyes found Caleb in the wings, his expression unguarded, full of quiet pride. He wasn't hiding anymore. Neither was I. The lyrics spilled from me, raw and unfiltered. The song wasn't about heartbreak, wasn't about pretense, it was about survival, about finding light after years of darkness. About us. The audience rose to their feet, their voices joining mine, thousands of strangers who, for once, didn't see scandal. They saw humanity. They saw love. And as the final note echoed through the stadium, I felt tears on my cheeks, but this time, they weren't from pain. They were from joy. Later that night, when the crowd had gone and the stage was silent, Caleb joined me in the empty arena. The seats stretched out into darkness, the air still humming with the energy of what had just happened. "You were incredible," he murmured, sliding his arm around my waist. I leaned into him, my head resting against his chest. "We were incredible," he chuckled softly, kissing the top of my hair. "You're not afraid anymore, are you?" "No," I whispered, closing my eyes. Not with you. The silence that followed was peaceful, the kind that wrapped around us like a promise. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like I was performing. I didn't feel like I had to pretend my heart was cold, because it wasn't. It was burning bright, unstoppable, alive. And this time, the world knew it too. That was the night I finally understood. Between the stage lights and the shadows, love had always been the song I was meant to sing. And Caleb was the only one I'd ever sing it for. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with the latest videos.